Welcome back to another episode of Operation Anti-Indoctrination. I'm your host, JB, and I am joined today by...
Producer Brooke.
Yes, it is the eve of my birthday, so we're going to have a fun time today talking about Maoism.
You're not going to watch this on his birthday, though.
Yeah, well, no, we're not doing that. But anyway, so we're having a great time, so let's ruin it. I mean, let's continue. That's okay. Anyway, so we have a teachers association in North Carolina, the largest teachers association in North Carolina union, where a self-avowed Marxist that follows Mao's teaching, Mao, the genocidal chairman of China from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, Mao, he's making a comeback. He's making a comeback in the classrooms. It's great. So we have Brian Prophet, I don't know, kind of an ironic last name if it's pronounced as Prophet.
Is that spelled with 2 F's and 2 T's?
I guess it is. I mean, this dude.
That's like the most pretentious name.
This dude. Anyway, he leads this little association of educators, which has over 43,000 members and makes $8 million a year. And he is a Maoist, basically. He loves Mao, he loves Marxism, and he's gonna, well, let's just say he's probably not gonna spare the classrooms his ideology. So he says, his group that he works with is the Liberation Road says, from Mao, the methods of the mass line and the united front, how to learn from the experiences and insights of workers and broad masses to formulate demands and build blah 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 blah. You don't need to hear the rest. It's that kind of thing, okay? And well, I'm not, we're not here for this is capitalism episode. We are the capitalist kings. This is capitalism. We love capitalism. Everything no, we're not just dude. Maoism, that's not cool. All right, and I mean, of course, he's gonna push it into his ideology. In the paper of the Liberation Road, they talk about this. They talk about pushing it into the school system. This whole revolution we're gonna have. You can pause it if you're watching on YouTube. Wonderful stuff, and yeah, it's in the classrooms. I mean, I've been taught communist stuff, some pro-Mao stuff. It's all there. It's all there, as crazy as it sounds.
For example, I was taught in school that socialism is a combination of capitalism and communism.
Yes, it's like the healthy middle ground.
It's the best of both worlds. Not. Anyway.
Yeah, so, I've been taught the Great Leap Forward, it worked, it really worked. It made it so China could do anything, the Great Leap Forward, it was fantastic. Nothing wrong happened with it. I mean, this is ridiculousness. But I mean, that's how it is in the school system. And if you're just gonna go along with it, if you're just gonna go along with whatever they tell you, then you're gonna, you'll fall in line with it, and you'll embrace Marxism.
Okay, for clarification, Maoism killed tens of millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's kind of the point. Yeah, it was, not cool. But anyway, that was a little opening story. We don't usually cover so much current events anymore, but I saw that and I couldn't really resist. It was a pretty interesting story. So now, let's get into something called management. This wonderful business term became very popular in the early 1900s. How do you manage people? How do you manage the most people to maximize your profits? So you were going from communism to corporatism. Two very bad things kind of on the extremes of each other. So it's basically what the school system is built off of in the sense that the people that made the school system, many of the people, the business leaders, the industrialists, Carnegie, Rockefeller, those people, said, how do we maximize efficiency? How do we maximize management? Because if we can manage a population, if we can successfully manage and control a population, we can basically do whatever we want, and no one can do anything about it, because everyone will be immersed in the collective. They will not have their own internal monologues. They won't be able to make their own decisions. We will manage them. And that's where they got the school system, this modern day school system from, and they got the socialists on board. Quite interestingly, they got the collect. It was a very interesting alliance you had between the collectivist corporatists and the collectivist socialists. Very interesting alliance to create modern day schooling, where the objective was management, nothing else. And it's crazy stuff. I mean, you look at 1984, Brave New World, all that stuff in the school system to basically form people, to form how people think, how they act, and it's not great. So, what I have here is a quote from John Taylor Gatto. Now, I have this book, but I'm too lazy to find the page, so I'm going to use this YouTube video here. This is a good YouTube video. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. But this is from John Taylor Gatto, great critic of schooling, former teacher. So he knew the system better than anyone else did in his 30 years of teaching. But he says that schools are intended to produce formulaic human beings whose behavior can be predicted and controlled. To a very great extent, schools succeed in doing this, but in a national order in which the only successful people are independent, self-reliant, confident, and individualistic, the products of schooling are irrelevant. Well-schooled people are irrelevant. They can sell film and razor blades, push paper, and talk on telephones, or mindlessly sit before a flickering computer terminal, but as human beings they are useless. Useless to others and useless to themselves. That's from his book, Dumbing Us Down. And look around us. Everyone is immersed in their phone. They got stuff to do on social media. They got those notifications. Oh yeah, it's great. It's social media in this new age where nobody actually thinks their own thoughts. They just say, all right, well, what do they think? What do they think? And go with it, because that's how it is now.
People just sit on their phones, not talking to each other, not thinking about anything, really. I mean, when you're watching a video or browsing social media, are you really, thinking about anything? You're just kind of on your phone.
Yeah, and with people spending hours and hours per day, what are you getting at? I mean, no one gets anything out of that. And this goes for everyone. Everyone is just part of this system where you're dumbed down, and you just, that's what you do all day.
A lot of people, most people don't get anything out of school, don't get anything out of their phones, don't get anything out of their work later in life.
We're not real people anymore. We're just sheep to be herded around. It's great, but that's what it's come to with the school system, of course, at the start of it, because you're not a real person when you're immersed in this whole collective of this hive mind of social media, and you become useless. You become completely useless. You'll believe anything. You'll go along with anything. Doesn't matter how crazy it sounds. Anything goes, and that's how it is. That's what it's become, and I mean, yeah, that's very cool, very tragic stuff. So I guess we're a bit shorter than usual with this episode today, but that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. You have this crazy Maoism, communism on one side. This alliance still exists in a little bit more of an abstract sense, but this crazy communist stuff, and then the crazy corporatist social media tech giant stuff. It's all one big group that does not care about you, and it's part of this system, this rigged system. So that was interesting. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe, and if you can leave a comment, that'd be super epic. I got all the sorts of stuff in the description if you want to check it out. And until next time, I've been your host, JB.
And I'm producer Brooke.
And we are signing off.